Good morning, everybody. Happy Friday. Welcome to the Coffee Run Live. We are the 4th of January. I don't know what episode we're up to, but, my gosh, here we are. So this morning, Fridays are... It's a bit not awesome. Okay, that's a bit better. Fridays are all about celebrations and checking in and things like that. And the thing that I wanted to celebrate with you today is, what are your achievements for this week? Is it that you've had some time off? Is it that you are taking some downtime? Have you read some new books? Have you bought a new course? Have you signed up a new mentor? Have you signed up new clients? So what are you guys celebrating this week? I'm celebrating, being back at work. Actually, I've been so excited and chomping at the bit to get back into work ever since pretty much Christmas Eve. It's just, with a little bit of downtime and stuff like that, just really pumped, re-energized and super excited to get back into it all. So really celebrating that, celebrating clients, smashing some stuff out over this last couple of weeks, despite the whole, you should be having holidays over Christmas time, rah, 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 rah. So I'm celebrating that. But the thing that I really, really wanted to talk with you about today, the stuff that's come up for me, is around what do you need to let go of in order for you to be able to get to where it is that you really want to be, where you know you're destined to be over the course of this next year. So we spoke earlier on in the week, I think it was on Wednesday, about your goal setting and, golly gosh, getting company, sorry about that. Your goal setting and what it is that you want to achieve this year, but more importantly, how is it that you want to feel? What are you going to be experiencing? What does that look like? What does it sound like? What does it feel like? And all of that kind of thing. And then you can do some reverse engineering around what needs to happen in order for you to be able to get to that. And how can you do things right now that has those feelings being invoked, right? So we talked about that on Wednesday. But I think the other thing that's really important to talk about is you're not going to be able to get to where you know you're destined to be or where you want to be if you've still got old shit dragging you down. It's a little bit like, concrete boots when you're trying to fly. It doesn't freaking work. So this can be applied into your wardrobe, it can be applied into weight loss, it can be applied into business, it can be applied into money, it can be applied into relationships. So quite often what happens is when we're like, oh, I want to lose weight, we'll use that as an example. Want to lose weight, a lot of people think, oh, I've got to lose weight, I've got to do this, I've got to do that, and it feels constricting. Whereas rather, what I would be looking at and what I've done in the past is where it's like, okay, well, I'm letting that go. I don't need that anymore. So we want to let go of that. The other part around all of this is that we've got to be able to create the space for new, good, awesome, amazing stuff to come in. So, for example, if you want to have really beautiful clothes, for argument's sake, you've got to go into your wardrobe now before you have the clothes, before you've got the money to buy them, whatever, and go in there and eliminate the stuff that makes you feel like shit. Yeah, anything that's in there that you don't feel good in, that doesn't serve how you want to feel, then, let it go. It doesn't matter that it's practical. It doesn't matter that it's got sentiment attached to it, because by hanging on to the old stuff, it anchors those shitty feelings, essentially. How this applies to business, morning Catherine, good morning Gerda. How this applies to business is if you've always done things in a particular way and it's no longer serving you, you've really got to be able to let some of that old shit go, right? In order for you to be able to get to where you want to be, you've got to let some of that old stuff go. So for years, I've taught, hey, this is how you do Facebook ads, this is how you do funnels, and I've kind of danced over the years with not doing that anymore, not teaching that, even though that's partially what I'm really well known for. Morning, Geordie. It's like, I'm not doing that. This year I decided it's not negotiable. I am absolutely letting that go. Hey Shirley, good morning, welcome, happy Friday. So I guess where I'm going with this is quite often we revert back to our comfort zone because the things that we used to do worked. And I've tried this last year. Last year was, and the year before, was a whole bunch of doing things in the way that things worked for me a few years earlier. And that worked really freaking well. I mean, we're at $1 million a year. We're doing, I was doing well. I had team. I had the most amazing client retreats and doing really great things all the time. It was awesome. And then, other elements of my world kind of crashed. And by the time I was ready to kind of get back, the things that I used to do in terms of marketing perhaps, or delivery or content or emails or whatever, weren't working in the same way that they were before. And it's partially based on the industry. I'm kind of known as an internet marketer, I suppose, which I don't want to be known as that, but anyway, known as an internet marketer, and the way that things have worked in the past didn't work anymore because it wasn't what I wanted to do, wasn't what I wanted to sell. So I guess where I'm going with that is that sometimes, and this is what I want you to look at this year, sometimes we've got to let go of the old stuff, even though it worked really well, in order to get to create the new amazing stuff to come through in your world. So if you've got stuff around your home, your office, whatever that is no longer serving you, doesn't make you feel good, get rid of it. I used to have, as a motivation tool, different posters on my wall that had my monthly income written on them. So it started off in 2012, 2011, 2010 actually, at $500 for the month, and then it went to $1,500 a month, and then April 2012 it was $30,000, and things just really kind of ramped up from there. But then when I purposefully decided to scale everything back, you can catch previous lives for more explanation on that. But a few years ago, 2 years ago, I purposefully scaled the business back in order to really concentrate. It was actually the end of 2016, to really mid-2016, to really concentrate on helping my daughter and stuff like this, and not travel around the country so much, or internationally so much. And, I guess that, how's it going with that? The thing with that is the way that we used to do things doesn't always work. I don't know what I was going to say. I lost my train of thought. I got caught up in the year that things are doing it. Sorry about that. So I guess where I'm going is, if you feel like there is stuff going on, that's where I was going, stuff going on around you that is not serving you, then take it down, get rid of it. When things were scaled back, I would look at what the monthly income was compared to what it was when things were going really well, when I was, 300% in the business and totally, smashing it out. It's kind of like, well, that was more debilitating than motivating. It was more shame attached to it, because even though it was a conscious choice, it was just like, oh, well, I'm not doing that anymore. That really fucking sucks. So, if there's stuff around you that doesn't serve you, get rid of it. This is why decluttering is really great. So you want to create as much mental white space as you can, as well as the physical space, and only have things in there that help you, serve you, help you get to that feeling of where it is that you want to be. Does that make sense, everyone? Let me know. The other thing, I guess, where this plays in with marketing, where this plays in with business, is just because you've always done something one way doesn't mean that you can't do things in another way. So 2019, I've committed to myself to go, I think I said to you guys earlier this week, it's totally all in, completely backing myself in a way that I never have before. There's almost a little bit more fear there because, there's a lot more, I've got a lot more time in the game, right? So it kind of feels like there's a bit more to lose, but at the same token, it's like, well, you know what? If it doesn't freaking work, it doesn't freaking work, and that's, it is what it is. When it will work and when it does work and I can feel it working, it's going to be freaking amazing. So I'm really excited to have that ride with you. But that's the kind of thing for you as well, that I think we all need to really kind of go all in, and clearing out the shit is the first part of that. So that's that kind of for me today. So I'm celebrating having these really cool ideas. There's so many things that I'm going to share with you guys over the course of this year, and probably over the next month that I'm really excited about. There's lots of coffee on the books. I really feel like, and everyone that I talk to at the moment is just like, it's going to be a great freaking year. It's going to be a great freaking year. You know, let's up the ante. Let's up the production. Let's up the content. Let's up the energy. Let's up the clients. Let's up the money. Let's up the health. You know, all of that stuff. And everything that I'm about is all about you showing up as you, right? You being more visible. You doing all of this. And if you really want everything that you want, you've got to be okay with letting go of your old thoughts, your old fears, your old beliefs, your old systems, your old programming, your old mentors, your old relationships, the old friendships, the old guilt, the shame, the shoulds, the if I had onlys, the regrets. You know, you've got to let all of that stuff go, because I want you to imagine that everything that you're like an Etch-a-Sketch, right? So if you imagine, and some of you might not be old enough to know what an Etch-a-Sketch is. It's not those little ones. It was a really big one, right? So I'm imagining like a big Etch-a-Sketch, and all of the old stuff is crowding up that Etch-a-Sketch picture, and it's all kind of like scribbly and messy and shitty and whatever, because it's all our old thoughts, our old dreams, our old goals, our old dreams, our old desires, our old setbacks, our old heartbreaks, our old, you know, blah, blah, blahness. The blur that is often sitting there in our psyche. And so with your Etch-a-Sketch, all you need to do is go and it's a clean slate. So every day I want you to imagine it's like clean slate. You know, you can do anything, you can create anything, you can build a business around whatever the heck it is that you want to be able to build a business around. You can build marketing around you, and it's always going to be aligned. But you, just because somebody told you sometime that this is the way that things need to be done, doesn't mean that it's the way that things need to be done. So take what you will from that. And Geordie, I'm really glad that that's helped you. So let's fly by the seat of our pants. You know, let's make this year the best, most awesomest year that we possibly can, by being the best versions of ourselves every day, by really putting you out there, by really unleashing you and your strengths, your knowledge. Let's formulate your intellectual property. You're intelligent, and it's important. Well, it's not important. I think it's important that you feel like that, and we want to have different ways of being able to create that and cultivate that. In order for you to be able to put that stuff out there. So that's that. Clear the space today. Make sure you celebrate. Let us know what you're celebrating. You're welcome, Shirley. I'm just really excited. I don't have anything else. So go have a really amazing kick-ass day. Get out there, help some people, get visible, and let's just freaking do this. I'll talk to you all soon.